So he did it. He finally did it, the mad lad. Francis Ford Coppola, against all odds, has finally made his 40-year-long passion project, Megalopolis. And here is the proof. The teaser trailer for the film has been released. I feel like I did when the teaser for The Irishman came out after I waited for 10 years for the movie to be made. Like, wow, it's real and it's actually here. Megalopolis is the final offering from legendary director Francis Ford Coppola. If you don't know the history of the making of this movie, then know it's a win for art. It's been on and off the cards for decades. The script has apparently been rewritten 300 times. And when Coppola finally got around to making it, nobody wanted to produce it. So, in true Maverick style, one to add to the list of the many fascinating stories around Francis Ford Coppola, he sold off a huge chunk of his winery to self produce this $200 million or so picture. It's Coppola's last massive middle finger to the soulless Hollywood suits and the corporate chasing of the dollar through conveyor belt products masquerading as movies. Even if it turns out to be a mess, Coppola is an artist in the truest sense of the word, and the very act of finishing and releasing this movie should be celebrated by film fans. It's very sad that his wife recently passed away, who helped him on so many projects, meaning she'll never see the release. In an Instagram post, Coppola impressively said Megalopolis is the best work he's ever had the privilege to preside over, and he also dedicated the film to his wife. The Cannes Film Festival say Megalopolis is a Roman epic fable set in an imagined modern America. The city of New Rome must change, causing conflict between Caesar Catilina, a genius artist who seeks to leap into a utopian idealistic future, and his opposition, Mayor Franklin Cicero, who remains committed to a regressive status quo, perpetuating greed, special interests, and partisan warfare. Torn between them is socialite Julia Cicero, the mayor's daughter, whose love for Caesar has divided her loyalties, forcing her to discover what she truly believes humanity deserves. Before this teaser, there was actually a short clip of the film released. Very interesting and no context given. That's how you do a teaser. Adam Driver timidly climbs out of a building and instead of falling to his death, is able to stop or at least slow down time. I do wonder what this is all about. Maybe he really does have the power to stop time, or maybe this takes place in some kind of Matrix style creation of his, seeing as though he plays the architect, and this is maybe a toy he inherited where he can mess around with the city's designs. The teaser trailer looks insane. Blade Runner meets Julius Caesar. Francis is on the same drugs he made when he made Dracula. There's so much to take in. Not all of it looks great though, even though it looks like Coppola has thrown everything he's got left at it. Some elements look a bit cheap. Maybe it's the digital cameras coupled with the 185 aspect ratio, which in my brain it just kind of seems to connect it with low budget movies. But there's also some CGI shots that aren't exactly mind blowing. Still though, it's evident this movie is not supposed to look real. There are stylistic choices at play, and the fact that the trailer looks visually inconsistent suggests different time periods of the movie are supposed to look different. It clearly has style, it will have character, it will have vision, which is perfect as the whole point of the movie is following a man with a vision. In fact, maybe I'm overthinking, but perhaps the battle between tradition and progression, new versus old, will be referenced in the very way the film is made. There's a lot of old school looking effects in here. Triptych shots. Some parts look like they have matte paintings, and then you have modern tech like CGI. I'm not going to do a super detailed trailer breakdown where we try and decipher every frame. I think that kind of stuff can damage your enjoyment of a film, so I'm just making casual observations. Again, just like with the clip they released, the teaser is great. Shows you a whole bunch of stuff, gives you a feel of the movie, but doesn't give too much away. I really like this shot. There's something quite Last Days of Pompeii about it. This must be the city's destruction with a meteor or some kind of attack. The first few shots really have a neo-noir vibe going on. I thought the bits with the statues collapsing were cool, representing quite literally the fall of the old empire. Maybe this movie's universe employs some kind of magical realism where the statues have some kind of autonomy. There's chariot races, wrestling, and whatever the heck Shia LaBeouf's supposed to be. Coppola wasn't joking when he said this would be a Roman epic set in modern New York. It's literally that. I've heard LaBeouf plays a bad guy, or girl. Anyway, this shot here says city for sale. Sounds intriguing. Maybe he's some kind of agent who tries to coax investors through these scantily clad women. And that's how Driver's character meets Natalie Emmanuel. I don't know, I'm just thinking out loud here. I also like this shot. I wonder if the camera had just cut away from something new and majestic being built in the top left hand corner, and we now move into chaos and debauchery on the street level. If you pause the film at these triptych shots, there's some very futuristic cityscape designs that the architect must be experimenting with. There's shots here and there near the end with what looks like political upheaval and civil war, maybe. I don't know what this is supposed to be, but it's interesting. There's a split-second shot of Dustin Hoffman in this. I think the announcer at the nightclub gladiator thing in the beginning of the trailer is the same person. Always nice to see Hoffman, been a while since we saw him in anything major. And there's a bunch of different abstract shots that make up much of the rest of the trailer. All in all, I'm pumped to see this. I am ready for Coppola to take me away and blow me away. I'm hoping he's got one more left in him. The mixed reaction from the distributors, as I talked about in my previous video on the film, in many ways is good. Universal acclaim, more often than not, means a movie is safe. Plus, there might be an industry bias against the film, seeing as though Coppola basically bypassed the system to make it. There is courage and perseverance behind this project, and every reason for film fans to celebrate. Coppola is a true visionary, and there's few directors out there who can match him for the sheer weight of his balls. James Cameron, maybe, before he became so obsessed with Avatar. Werner Herzog in his younger days, too. But even the other great directors of our time, Scorsese, Spielberg, Tarantino, Fincher, Nolan, you never really get the sense they would throw themselves headfirst into a ride or die project to actually risk their fortune multiple times over, as Coppola has done. Of course, it could simply end up being a wet fart, or a film that thinks it has grand intellectual ideas, but because the script was written ages ago, the ideas are naive and outdated. I mean, remember how Terry Gilliam spent ages trying to get The Man Who Killed Don Quixote made, and when it finally was, it was just mediocre? Then again, George Miller made The Road Warrior in the early 80s, spent some years making Happy Feet films, and then pulled out Mad Max Fury Road in 2015. So who knows? There are interesting failures. The biggest celluloid sin Megalopolis can commit, and I always say this about movies, is that it can be boring. That's the absolute worst thing a film can be. Megalopolis will premiere on Thursday, 16th of May at the Cannes Film Festival, and the cast includes Adam Driver, Giancarlo Esposito, Natalie Emmanuel, Aubrey Plaza, Shia LaBeouf, John Voight, Jason Schwartzman, Talia Shire, Grace Van der Waal, Lawrence Fishburne, Catherine Hunter, and Dustin Hoffman. So what did you think of this trailer? Are you excited for Megalopolis? Let me know in the comments section below, and thanks for watching.